What's up, winners? On this channel we learn to see through manipulation, have fun doing it. So you can see the title right here, what Harry's been accused of, and we could check it out, what this woman says, how credible she seems.
Sophie, thank you for talking to us. Sophie, you and I have known each other for many years, particularly working on diversity in corporate leadership, but I've never had anything to do with your work with Prince Harry. So let's just start with the origins of Sentebale. What was the point? What was the aim of setting it up?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Trevor, for having us here on behalf of the entire Sentebale organization, 540 strong. This is an opportunity for us to just set the record straight and also talk about the future of Sentebale. But where did it begin? Sentebale started as a very urgent...
Just really quick, I don't know if you're looking at these headlines on the bottom. This is so ironic, because Harry's whole thing is like, I'm fighting an institution, you know. I didn't say they were blankist. I said it was, like unconscious something or other, and the press said that, and the PR machine was against me. This is exactly what he's being accused of, so that's so funny. Like, you know, Mr. Morals making all these accusations.
Response to the urgent need for those who were impacted by HIV and AIDS in Lesotho to be taken care of. Prince Harry and Princess thought that they were uniquely placed to respond to the needs of orphans and vulnerable children, and this was in 2006. Lesotho is a very small country that's within South Africa itself. But as you roll on to 2024, the issues in Southern Africa are actually quite different. HIV and AIDS is no longer a death sentence, and so...
Well, that's good. I still think it'd be good to you know, get rid of as much as possible. That's good.
Our organization is really looking at those other elements in the ecosystem that affect the health and welfare.
It's built to be quite a big outfit. Let me start with you.
I'm going to answer this very frankly, but I just want to say normally I wouldn't want to discuss family business in this way in an open forum. But it's to see what it is that's going on in the organization. When you look at the I did a 7-year historical review of the financials, looking at our costs and looking at our revenues, so income. It was pretty obvious to me that we had lost quite a number of corporate sponsors, we'd lost some families, and we'd lost individuals who were donating to the organization.
That's interesting, because you have this goofball Harry running around. I want to hear about these allegations. Who knows, maybe they're just hyping this up. I think that she's a bit wordy, but, you know, she's got a doctorate. Sometimes that could happen, which is something to be aware of with speaking, not to over-explain. You know, some people, you have a lot of details in your head. You don't necessarily need to say all of them because people tune out. Just a little speaking tip.
And there was quite a significant correlation between the time the organization started to see a departure of sort of major organizations and Prince Harry's departure from the UK itself. When you look at the board minutes, though, there is no discussion about what's happening with respect to some of our most significant funders. And then when you discuss with the senior executive team and ask why there isn't a conversation about this, the answer is it's really difficult to have this conversation because the instruction was it's an uncomfortable conversation to have with Prince Harry in the room.
Oh, yeah, he's a little big crybaby. But you know what, I'm just thinking about this. You know, Harry doesn't take anything seriously because he was, you know, born into everything and just doesn't have character. You know, William was born into a lot too, but he doesn't behave that way whatsoever. But this is not a small thing. They're a charity doing work that's really important. I'm sure it's her life's work as well, but probably saving lives. And Harry's decisions, like, oh, I don't want to be in the UK, the press, and like little baby stuff, affected probably thousands, tens of thousands of lives. So his decisions matter. You know, he's very selfish in a lot of his decisions, but this is a big deal. I mean, losing all this charity money, burning bridges.
Central point here is when you...
It is.
Ian, is that what you saw?
Yes, I mean, I think there's something about the party over...
As a shock event.
Okay,
Nice picture you're painting.
Yeah, so I'll answer that question in two parts, and Ian, it would be good to get your perspective as well. I'll be very direct with respect to Dr. Kelly. He had the worst attendance record. And even when he was in the meetings, he didn't actually contribute that much. So I'm not surprised that he didn't know much of what was going on in the organization.
To be fair, I mean, he's not here to answer for himself.
There was belligerence, and there was. Here's the thing to remember. There were meetings definitely where Dr. Kelly was not present, and there was belligerence, and there was an insistence on, raising of topics that were not even on the agenda of the day. An example might be Prince Harry decides on a specific occasion that he wants to appoint an individual to the board with immediate effect without having talked to me. It's not on the agenda, and somehow everybody's just supposed to tolerate that.
He being here, Prince Harry.
So, it's such a good point, the idea of these people. Hello, Leo. Very bad news. Well, not very bad. He hurt his toe. He's much better today, but he was limping yesterday. I took him to the vet. I was very worried. He just woke up and he was limping. He's still staring at me. Well, we can look at him once I say that. This really shows this arrogance. I don't know. I'm not from Africa, obviously, but this whole thing, like Harry's like, Africa's my place. It's like this wonderland where I just go and I forget everything, and I just go and I save everyone. I tell everyone what to do, and I'm saving. It's like this woman's got a doctorate. I mean, Harry, he had to basically more or less allegedly pay people off for Harry to graduate high school. And he's just like, oh, I make the decisions. I'm Harry. I'm from I'm not from Africa, so that means that I can go and fix Africa. It's like, it's just super arrogant. Super arrogant. I don't know. I'm not from Africa, but that whole thing just seems weird to me. He's like, I go to Africa. It's my place. And I don't know. Just super arrogant. It's her. She's actually qualified to be running things, and Harry's just deciding what's done.
So Prince Harry comes into the meeting and says, I want to appoint somebody.
The third proxy on the board says, welcome to the board, Brian. And everybody's shocked and quiet. But this is what happens when the prince is in the room and no one has the courage to speak.
Harry's a big fat baby with no competence and a bunch of yes men and women around him. Makes sense.
As I'm quoting here, almost...
I think what we had here was a board that had overstayed by even Charity Commission guidance. Most of the members of the board, when I came back in July of 2023, had been on the board when I left. This is not how a properly run organization should work. You're not supposed to.
So just in terms of credibility, I think she's completely credible. I mean, she's running the charity. She's got qualifications. Everything she's saying sounds really balanced. Prince Harry was the number one. I mean, she's the charity chair. So he comes in and he destroyed a charity, and it's just this total arrogance, right? And I still think that it's like it's like I go to Africa and that's where I escape because that was my mother's place too. And I go to run their charities and run the country. That's like what makes me feel good. But it's like it's a real place with real people, It's kind of like it's his like game relaxation, like his therapy. But again, I couldn't imagine that being said about the UK, him in the UK or any other country. Like, oh, I go and I just run Germany. I go there and I run things and I run the charities and that's just my therapy. It's like not treating the people really like people.
On a board for past 9 years. Most of these individuals were there for 5, 10, 15, now 19 years. And so what you have is entrenchment. And there's a reason why you have term limits. Because people begin to mark their own homework. And turkeys don't vote for Christmas.
What you seem something to the point you're making here.
A young earned him the respect and remembered the development about where...
Sophie, let's talk about one tournament, which is one of the ways
In April, we had a very generous family that was happy for us.
So one thing, I know she doesn't seem like she wants to be there, which again, that lends credibility. It's not like she's on some PR privacy tour. She really genuinely, it's not like Harry and Meghan, like, we want privacy. We just want to be left alone. Hi, cameras. You know, you could tell she seems a little uncomfortable. She doesn't want to be there. She seems to me like she's a cerebral person. So, you know, to be fair, you know, a little criticism, like I said, it's not always super engaging what she's saying because everything she's saying is very logical. She qualifies things. Unlike Meghan, who qualifies things for, like, why she's great, she's qualifying things logically. She'll say, all right, I'm going to say 2 things now, blah, blah, blah. She's a technically minded person, it seems to me, who doesn't want to be there. So I think she just really cares about the charity. All right, see you guys soon. We'll continue.